Hello, and welcome to FPL Mate. We're back for another game week, Gameweek 7 this time. I've just realised I'm not wearing a football shirt, so I should probably figure that one out. But yes, it feels good to be back on another deadline stream. I hope you're all doing well today. I've got some bench decisions to make, and I'm sure a few of you guys have similar bench-related decisions to be made. It is going to be an interesting one. I think people are going to be benching some points this week. I think we just kind of have to accept that at this point, that we're going to be benching some points. So yeah, it's never an easy one to take as an FPL manager, but it is what it is. I need to figure out what football shirt to wear today. Should we have a look? Give you a few options. I've got a few options for you. All right. Hold on. Let me pick out a few nice ones. I'll let the chat decide today. So, we've got this nice yellow #United one, possibly. We've got this Leon one that I like wearing all of my profile pictures, pretty much. So there's that one. Or the classic drip kit is fresh out the wash as well. So we've got this one. Few options. What do you reckon? First person to reply can make that decision for me. Yeah, it's a big day for decision making, as we can clearly tell. We're gonna need some. We're gonna need a bench list today. A few votes for the Leon, or there's a fair few votes for the Leon. All right, I think that's decided. I think Leon is decided. All right, hold up. Make sure I'm out of frame whilst I'm getting changed. No one wants to see my wimpy body, I'm sure. Now we're talking business. Hat on as well, because the hair is a little crazy today. Right, let's get going. Now I feel ready. Now I feel prepared. Now we feel prepared. Much better. Right, I need to update the ticker. I've been writing all of the updated news on my phone. Hopefully that will update. That's not correct, is it? Let me check my notes and get the correct news, because we've got quite a decent amount of fresh injury news and stuff today. The best one, well, there's two pretty positive ones actually, to be fair. One is that Romero, I know he was rested midweek, and there was some doubts about that one, but it seems like he is going to play. So Thomas Frank kind of confirmed that we will see the likes of Romero starting this week, which is very nice for my team. And then Gabriel's actually been pictured in training as well. So Arteta said that Gabriel is going to be is not a concern. And then he was pictured in training as well. So it looks pretty good on the Gabriel front as well. I think if you own Gabriel, no problem, just start him. Even if you're thinking about buying him, I think it's still all systems go on that front. I think we're still good to go ahead and make a nice purchase of our dear friend Gabriel as well. Indeed. Blake says, I need that Eze jersey right meow. That one there. It's looking good, isn't it? I quite like it there. I actually have a jersey that I might have to give away. Hang on, I'll show you. Maybe we'll do a giveaway for this one. Because I bought this and it came in the wrong size and I can't return it. It is real, but it is a double XL, which is not going to fit me. So it's the new Arsenal away shirt, and it's got Saka 7 on the back. And I missed the return date to send it back, unfortunately. So it's like, what, 85, 90 pounds worth of football shirt just wasting away. I mean, maybe, to be fair, maybe that could go back there whilst we give it away. But it's enormous. Yeah, it's a little big for me. So if there's any tall or larger gentlemen, then yeah, perhaps we'll give that away. One of you guys. Because it's just sitting around in the room at the moment. Just sitting around doing very, very little. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll give that away to a subscriber. So yeah, make sure you subscribe if you are an Arsenal fan and you fancy, or even if you're not an Arsenal fan, as long as you're not a Spurs fan, I dread to think what a Spurs fan would do to that jersey. I dread to think, I really do. But there you have it. Right, let's have a look at my team. Let's have a look at my fantasy team, and you guys can tell me what you think about it. Just make sure I'm logged in first of all, because I know FPL has a bit of a habit of logging us out pretty frequently at the moment. Okay, here we go. Wait, that's not right. This is right. Scroll down a little bit here. There we go. So, Jeremy says I have a burn bin in my backyard. No, absolutely not. Jordan says, didn't know you were an Arsenal fan. Subscribe just to support. Goodness. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that, mate. Mark says, hey, Dan, how are you? I'm good, Mark. I'm very good. Thank you, mate. How are you? I mean, I'm good, other than the benching dilemmas, which are troubling me right now. Because I know I need to bench. Basically, I know I need to bench one of Richards, Joao Pedro, or Reinders. And all morning, all last night, pretty much all week, I've had Joao Pedro on the bench. And now I'm kind of, maybe, I've now thrown Reinders on the bench. Maybe that was the play. But I know some people are going to say bench Richards. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I might put it on a vote, to be fair. I might put it to a vote to see what you guys think about who to bench. But right now, Reinders is the benched man. It's so difficult because everyone has Joao Pedro, everyone has Reinders. You know, if you're betting against these players, you could definitely land yourself in a bit of bother. But yeah, we can't play everyone, and it's a good problem to have. And I guess, you know, if you've got a strong squad because you're targeting a bench boost in the near game weeks, then you are going to occasionally have these problems. And I think what has made the problems even bigger for benching is the how well the defenders are doing and how defenders are suddenly playable in any given game week. So you're always going to have a defender, maybe even two defenders on your bench that are more than capable of scoring FPL points, to be honest. Why isn't Bruno my captain? My vice captain? To be fair, it is meant to be Gyökeres. I think I was messing around with it earlier, and obviously I've landed on Gabriel. But no, it should be Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is a better captain than Fernandes this week. Maybe there's some debate there, but I'm sure most people will probably agree with that, to be honest, because everyone is a big Bruno hater at the moment, as we know indeed. This is how I'm looking right now, and I think it's pretty good. Maybe you should bench boost. Yeah, now I'm bench boosting next week. Whatever issues I feel I have with my bench this week, they are going to be much tougher next week. And there is still a small chance. I mean, I'm probably not going to do it, but there is a small chance I make a transfer this week. I really want Ismaila Sarr back. I really, really want him. I really do. But Reinders, I would say, is a player in my squad who I'm not totally happy with, which is why I'm leaning towards benching him. But it's also why I'm thinking, okay, could I just sell Reinders to Sarr? I'm probably going to do it at some point regardless. I have a load of money in the bank. I was saving it really to upgrade Bruno to Palmer. But there is now, it seems like we might see Palmer requiring some surgery for his injury. And that decision is going to be made this week. That's what the rumors are saying. So if Palmer does require surgery, then, you know, what am I saving the money in the bank for? Use it or lose it kind of thing. You know, it improves my team this week. It improves the bench boost for next week. So Reinders to Sarr might be quite nice. Right, we've got a super chat here from Mazen, who says, I don't have Arsenal defenders, and I have both Salah and Haaland. Two options for me in the next game week. One, Salah and toss into Saka and Gabriel. I like it. Two, Gyökeres and toss into Strand and Gabriel. Not as keen on that one. And option two will allow me to double Arsenal defense. I see. I don't think I'd be selling Gyökeres. That seems like not not an ideal transfer. I think I prefer Salah and toss into Saka and Gabriel. I think that's what I would do, Mazin. That definitely sticks out to me a little bit more as a potential move. So I think that's what I do. But thank you very much for the super chat, and hopefully that helps. I'm gonna throw a poll in the chat because just whilst we're still on my team for a second, and then of course we'll talk about all your teams. We'll talk about benches. We'll talk about the news. We'll talk about everything today, all to come in these couple of hours leading up to the deadline. 2 hours and 13 minutes, by the way, guys, to until we've got our deadline. So be aware. A couple of super chats here. We've got Philip, who's got a wild card here of Raya, Gabriel, Gavardio, Senesi, Semenyo, Kudus, Foden, Sarr, Haaland, Gyökeres, Pedro, and a bench of Dubravka, Anthony, Alderete, and Mukiele. Bench boost next week if all fit. Any changes? Thinking maybe Raya to Donna, Gavardio to Timber at 0.1. Not super keen on that. To be fair, I'm not super keen on Gavardio. If you could swap him for Virgil, I would maybe do that. Also, I'm not sure about the double Sunderland defense. Seems a little overkill. Could you maybe switch Mukiele to a Rodon? That's probably what I would do. But no, I like Raya as a goalkeeper. I'm not super keen on the Man City defense, but maybe that's just me. Jan says, I use another service for fantasy and was proposed a trade. Yes. Draft fantasy. Yeah, I play draft fantasy too. I was proposed a trade for my Verts and Saliba for their Chalobah and Enzo Fernandez. Would you do it? I mean, Chalobah's not gonna play this week. We think. Enzo is nice whilst Palmer is out. If Palmer's out long term, Enzo Fernandez is a really nice pick. If Palmer is out long term, if that is the case, I will be buying Enzo in FPL. Like, that will just happen. And you know, that's another reason why I'm kind of holding off transfers a little bit. If I can do like Reinders or stack to Enzo next week, and I can afford to do the Reinders move, certainly, then I think I might do it if Palmer's out for Chelsea's nice fixtures from next week. So it's definitely on the cards. Would I do that trade on draft fantasy? Probably not, because I'd want Saliba. And I think Verts, I know he's not been great so far, but there is obviously potential with a player of that quality. And, you know, you got to think a little longer term in draft as well. So I would not make that trade. Chris says, hi, Dan, for a -8, should I sell Vicario for Pope? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Vicario's fine this week. Leeds, remember, I know, you know, Leeds has scored 5 goals in the last 2 games. 3 of them were against Wolves, in fairness. And prior to that, the only goal they'd scored in the opening 4 game weeks was a penalty against Everton in game week 1, which wasn't, which I don't know. I'm not convinced that Leeds are a good attack all of a sudden. I'm just because I've got Calvert-Lewin up front now. So, yeah, I'd be absolutely fine with Vicario or indeed any Spurs defender. I think they're all fine to play this week. We've got plenty more super chats to come. Bennett says, Reinders to Sarr and or Nico Williams to Timber with 1 free transfer. I do Williams to Timber, Bennett. I think that would be a pretty straightforward one to me. Reinders to Sarr, don't get me wrong, I do like the move. But, yeah, I think the Arsenal defender is probably the priority. And Williams is worse than Reinders. There's an argument to say that Timber is better than Sarr this week as well. So I think you improve your team more by moving Williams to Timber with 1 free transfer. And it's not worth a hit to make a second transfer either. Mazin with another super chat here says, I feel like I prefer double Arsenal defense rather than double attackers. What do you think? Yeah, I think I agree. But you've got to play with your own team at the end of the day. And, you know, the situation that you have and what's in front of you. And Gyökeres, to sell Gyökeres to get Saka, it doesn't seem worthwhile to me, personally. I still think I prefer Gyökeres to Saka right now, generally speaking, in the world of FPL. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. I also prefer the Arsenal defense. Is there another way of going double Arsenal defense without selling Salah, maybe? If that's something you'd like to do. It's tricky. I just don't like the moves that much, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully that helps, Mazen. You know, that's obviously in my opinion. I don't think there's a huge amount in it. I prefer double Arsenal defense, but it's not like double Arsenal attack is bad. And also, I think, you know, a lot of people are desperate to stick with the template and make sure they do exactly what, you know, they see the content creators do, blah, blah, blah. Going against the crowd can work out sometimes, and it can work really well sometimes. And when it's good, it's very, very good. So I'm definitely not against going against the crowd and doing something slightly different. Samir with a super chat here says, how's it, mate? Ah, we got a little South African. Ah, how's it, mate? Stott João Pedro or Ronders? Oh, Ronders. Yeah, tough one. A decision, Samir, that I'm wrestling with myself. I don't really know. Is the honest answer. I'm gonna say start Joao Pedro right now because that's kind of what I'm doing. But this is a really tough decision. Chronisk says, would you have Sar, Kudus, or Njai on a wild card? It wouldn't be Njai. I'll put it that way. Kudus I like, but I think for the long term, I think I prefer Sar. So I'm going to say Sar to that one. Pretty easy one. Yugan says, wildcard this week, should I have Saka and Richarlison or Gyökeres and Minter? Oh, I don't think I'd go for Richarlison. Let's say Gyökeres and Minter. I think Richarlison's days are numbered as the starting striker for Spurs. He will play this week. He might even play game week 8. But sort of from game week 9, I think Richarlison causes some headaches. Gyökeres is nice, safe, secure. And I really like Minter. Remember, Wolves, who Minter plays this week, they are dealing with some injury issues at the moment. So I think Brighton have a really good chance to get some goals against Wolves this week. I really like the look of Minter. I really do. So I like him. Sender says, love your videos, mate. I'm free hitting this week. Would you replace Gabriel with this news? If so, to who? Okay, so just a reminder of the news for Sender and everyone else here as well. Gabriel, according to Arteta is not worried about Gabriel this week. And Gabriel has also been pictured in training. So my personal opinion, based on the information we know, is that Gabriel will more than likely start. So there's no way I would replace him if I was, you know, just using transfers alone. I would definitely keep him. I would definitely start him. If you haven't bought Gabriel yet and you want him in your team, I would definitely consider it. He's going to be a nice long-term pick. Even if the small chance that he doesn't start, you're hopefully going to have some bench cover. And long-term Gabriel is great. So no problem there. If you're on a free hit, I understand there is some concern there. One benefit of the free hit is that you can build a strong bench on a whim. And yes, if we get that small chance, let's say it's a 10% chance that Gabriel doesn't start this week. If he's not fit, he's not fit. He's not going to come off the bench. He'll stay, probably not even in the squad, if Gabriel is unavailable. So just make sure you have a bench cover there. Yes, you're not going to have triple Arsenal for their game against West Ham. That's not the end of the world as far as I'm concerned. You could easily go for some other players as backup. And if you definitely want Arsenal defense, if you're on a free hit, you could even triple up on Arsenal defense if you wanted to, including Gabriel. Then you are guaranteed to have 2 Arsenal defenders. So Sender, I would include Gabriel on a free hit and just ensure that first bench option is A-okay. A-okay. Right, couple more. Oh, you've got one more super chat here from Ty, who says, love the content, and Jai/Reinders to Anthony or roll. I think I would probably roll. I think I'll probably roll that one. I do like a little bit of Anthony, though. I do like Anthony, but I think I would roll that one. It seems a little bit of a luxurious move. And you never know, like, there could be some big issues over the international break. Probably not, but you never know. And sometimes it's quite nice to have that spare transfer to use during the transfer during the international break window, I guess. Right then. Saw a message in here from Chewy FPL as well, who is one of our experts in the past in our 100 Experts videos. And Chewy says, "Hi, mate. Rank and Jai, Reinders, and Joao Pedro for this game week." I don't know if I'm biased. I probably am. I'm not massively keen on Njai this week. I'm not massively keen on him. I don't feel he's been as effective as we would have hoped. The Defcons that he's occasionally getting are brilliant. The penalties, if he does get one, is going to be great. And there is maybe some concern around him getting early substitutions. But has he been that effective in open play? Not massively, really. And we know that Crystal Palace are a very frustrating team to play against. I think I would rank Joao Pedro first, then Reinders, then Njai. But I'm not happy about that at all. There's argument to say put Njai ahead of Reinders just for the penalty factor. So, okay, let's say Joao Pedro, then Njai, then Reinders. But it's not easy, is it? It's really not easy. Like, I totally get it. Everyone who's having bench issues this week, believe you're not alone. You really are not alone. I think we're all dealing with very similar situations. I'm going to put a question in the a poll in the chat, though, guys, because I want to ask you guys, who would you bench this game week? And I'll put... I don't know if I'll listen to you guys or not, to be honest, but Joao Pedro versus Liverpool home. Reinders versus Brentford away, or Richards. I know you're not. I know you're going to say I'll just bench Richards. You guys are living in 2024-25, disregarding the DEFCON defenders. I will never disregard a DEFCON defender. So yeah, I have a feeling I know where this poll is going, but I'm going to throw it in there anyway, because I'm curious to see how much you guys hate Richards. I'm curious. I'm so curious. Is Pedro on pens? Mixed reports. I don't know. The evidence suggests that Enzo is on penalties whilst Palmer is out. But honestly, it could be Joao Pedro as well. It could be. I don't know. Why? How come you've got Richards over Gahey? I get asked that a surprisingly large amount of times. I do genuinely prefer Richards. He is slightly cheaper for a start, but that's not the reason. He's much better for defensive contributions. He's a defensive contributions monster so far this season. He's one of those guys, like maybe not quite the level of Senesi, but you know, we see like Virgil and Tarkovsky and maybe a few others get defensive contributions, and you pretty much know you're going to get them from that player. And Richards is one of those guys, and that's why Richards is you know, really, really highly regarded there. I also think he has similar attacking threat to Gahey, which is a much more difficult argument to make, considering Gahey has returned somehow, keeps getting these knock-ons, and his teammates finishing them. All that wonder goal, sort of towards the beginning of the season. But Richards is you know, he's scoring in other competitions. He's scoring on international duty. He is also like a long throw merchant as well, so he takes a lot of the long throw-ins. So you never know when you're going to get an assist from a throw-in. This doesn't happen very often, but hey, it's an additional string to his bow. And yeah, he's a bit of a target man. He's more of a target man than Mark Gahey, to be honest, in terms of the set piece routines. So yeah, Richards does definitely have some benefits. A couple of super chats here. Damien says, is ditching Joao Pedro for Isak and Enzo for Eze good? No, it's not. I wouldn't do it. No, Damien. I like Enzo for as long as Palmer is out. I like Enzo. Joao Pedro, yeah, it's more debatable, right? I don't think he's a must sell or anything like that. We've got to remember, Joao Pedro's got some great fixtures coming up. I know he's not been doing very much recently, but after Liverpool. And, there's arguments to be made that Liverpool are not a great defence. We've got Nottingham Forest, which is a great fixture right now. Sunderland at home, which is better than Sunderland away. We've got Spurs there. We've got Wolves, Burnley. After Arsenal, there's Leeds, Bournemouth, Everton. There's plenty of good fixtures still to come, whereby you don't need to sell Joao Pedro. And I think Liverpool's fixtures are a little tougher, to be honest. Reese says bench Pedro for Mitchell. Yes. I'm going to say yes. Jake says bench Eze for Virgil van Dijk or Bowen, both on the bench. I mean, I don't think I'd play Bowen against Arsenal. So I would bench Bowen. I think Bowen is a nice player to have, but not really a player you'd be looking to play this week. Carl says sell Juf or Porro to get Gabriel. Gameweek 13 wildcard. I mean, as long as you wouldn't need to play Juf this game week, I would sell Porro to get Gabriel. So yeah, I would sell Porro. Leaves a little bit of money in the bank as well, which is quite nice. Well, compared to the Juf move, at least. So yeah, I would sell Porro. Martin says Donnarumma, Gay, Gabriel, Senesi, Fernandez, Semenyo, Minter, Njai, Haaland, Gyökeres, Pedro. Should I bench boost with Dubravka, Van der Ven, Reinders, Alderete? No, your bench boost is better next week. I think. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's only Njai that you would maybe bench next week. And, as a penalty taker, it's always fine to play Njai. It's always fine to play a penalty taker, no matter what the game week. So, no, I would save that bench boost for next week, Martin, when we have Alderete against Wolves. You've got Dubravka against Leeds, Van der Ven against Aston Villa, and Reinders against Everton. You've got some good fixtures next week for that one. So there we go. Yeah, just another reminder, guys, on Gabriel, because I know there's still more Gabriel questions and stuff coming in. It should be on the ticker at the bottom of the screen, which is down there, way down there. Yeah, Gabriel has trained. Arteta is not concerned. It suggests to us that Gabriel is going to be fine to play this week. We can never say anything for 100% certainty, but that is the present opinion. Just checking out the poll, guys. Actually, we've got a super chat from Matt who says start 2 of Reinders, Caicedo, or Pedro. Good question. I think I'd bench Caicedo. Caicedo's probably getting 4 points this game week. Probably. Reinders, I think there's a good chance Reinders gets less than 4 points, don't get me wrong. Same with Pedro. But Caicedo's your floor pick. Reinders, Pedro, your ceiling picks, really. I guess. I mean, Reinders' ceiling I don't think is super high, to be honest. But I would bench Caicedo out of those 3. I think. Right, yeah, I'm going to end the poll. I didn't really want to leave this up for too long, to be honest. But the results. Who would you bench this game week? Joao Pedro, Reinders, or Richards? Reinders is the least popular option, and yet he is the one who's currently on my bench, which is crazy. But 51% of you would bench Joao Pedro this week. All right, let me reframe that question. Whilst we're on the topic of Joao Pedro, I want to do a few polls today. We've still got a couple of hours till deadline, so we can ask plenty of questions. So, what will you do with Joao Pedro this game week? So, what will you do? What are you actually going to do? Start him, bench him, don't own him, and we'll put don't know, or still unsure. Let's put a confused emoji on that one as well. So yeah, if we reframe that, let's see what if that changes the kind of opinion on Joao Pedro, because for my team, a lot of you guys are suggesting I should bench him. But I'm wondering what you guys are doing. Yugan says, any Newcastle or Aston Villa players to consider? Love your vids. Thank you very much, Yugan. Newcastle players, I like the look of Gordon and Burn the most right now. Oh, and Voltamada, of course, Voltamada. So, yeah, Voltamada for a forward, Gordon for a midfielder, and Burn for a defender. I like those three. Aston Villa, not so much. Like, they have one good fixture left. If you're on a free hit, I guess there is some argument to be made to take an Aston Villa player, but I don't think I buy any Aston Villa players. It's pretty... Yeah, they've not been great, and their fixtures do get a little worse in the very near future. So, yeah. Newcastle, yes, like a few. Aston Villa, not sure. Not sure about them. Not as keen. We've got to do a bench list soon. There's so many benching questions. It looks like a lot of you guys are benching Joao Pedro this week. So currently the poll is saying 43% will start Joao Pedro this week. 32% will bench him. 13% don't own him. Is that it? Only 13% of you guys watching don't own Joao Pedro? That's crazy. And we got 12% of you guys still unsure as well. Wow. Yeah, first of all, I can't believe how many of you guys have Joao Pedro. That's crazy. But it looks like for those who do own him, there is a slight leaning towards starting him rather than benching him, but there's not much in it. There's not much in it. But, you know, that's going to be down to the individual. You guys are going to have different, you know, strengths of your squads. That is going to impact your decision making there. Which, yeah, is totally understandable. Totally understandable. I'm not going to just to I'm really not going to bench boost this week. I know that decision has already been made. So, you know, those of you guys saying, Dan, you just need to bench boost. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait till game week 8. Whatever issues, bench headaches I feel I have this week, they are going to be much stronger next week. Much stronger. So I'm absolutely okay with sticking with what I've got, or sticking with the plan really for the bench boost game week 8, which does look a lot stronger for me. But look, that's not me saying other people shouldn't bench boost. But I think for a lot of people, their bench is going to look stronger next week than it will this. I think anyway. Opinions on Saka. I mean, I like Saka, obviously. If you're looking for an Arsenal attacker, then, you know, Saka would be up there. I would say, you know, if I'm ordering Arsenal attackers for who I prefer to buy, it would be Gyökeres first, but Saka wouldn't be too far behind him. And then it's kind of the rest. After that, you're looking at Eze, you're looking at Rice, you're looking at, well, pretty much no one else at that point. But yeah, I think Gyökeres and Saka stand out as Arsenal attackers to buy. So I like Saka. I think he could be a dangerous pick. And he's a nice differential. Not many people. We don't see Saka in very many people's squads. So a real difference maker as well there in terms of, you know, trying to increase your rank. Why did you bench Reinders? Have to bench someone, my friend. I have to bench someone. I can't play them all. And it's DEFCON season, so I can't bench Richards. I can't do it. Charles says, big question. Who do you replace Bruno Fernandes with if 0 points this week? I mean, I don't care if he gets 0 points. How many points he gets does not impact my decision making on Bruno. It's how well does he play? How well do Manchester United play? You know, do future points look possible? Because it's very easy to sell Bruno because he hasn't got very many FPL points until he does get the FPL points. But if it looks like he's not going to get them, and I don't think that's happened so far, you know, penalty taker, defensive contributions, incredibly creative. There are a lot of positive signs there. Like, if Man United got a new manager, for example, because let's be honest, if things do go wrong again this week, there is a chance that over the international break, Amarin could be replaced. I mean, come on. If Man United lose to Sunderland away, at home, at Old Trafford, it would be pretty embarrassing. And if, you know, there's a new manager at Man United, maybe Bruno's now playing attacking midfielder. Maybe, you know, Man United have this new manager bounce and look absolutely brilliant and fantastic, and everyone's fit and firing and doing brilliantly. So you can have a totally different scenario. Well, let's see how let's see how Bruno plays out, I guess. Mayank says, Mama Dashvili, Dubravka, Rodon, Senesi, Anderson, Gabriel, Romero, and Jai, Reinders, Bruno, Foden, Stack, Gyökeres, Haaland. Bench boost this week or next. Let's see here. So, really, your only bad fixture next week is in Jai. The rest of the fixtures are better next week than they are this. So, I would bench boost next week. Jordan Talks FPL says 2 free transfers, Reinders / Jai to Minter or roll. I think I would probably roll. If I'm on a wild card, I'm taking Minter 100%, but I think I would roll that one. Minter nice against Wolves this week, but he does face Newcastle next week. So I think Minter isn't really as playable in you know, next week. Reinders is playable both this week and next, and Jai is playable this week. And I think, in fairness, he is playable next week as well. But Minter, you're not going to play in game week 8. So I don't think that for those reasons, I don't think I would do it. I think I would roll. Go to 3 transfers. How high can we go on those transfers? Patrick says Richards over Reinders. Yes, that is how we are currently set up, which is a decision. But look, DEFCON season, man. It's DEFCON season, and Richards is the guy. He is the guy right now. And I also want to bet against Njai and Grealish and all those Everton boys that so many people own. So I've not been impressed with Reinders. I really haven't. I feel like I made a mistake picking him on my wild card. I feel like I'm a bit of a bottle job, and I just succumbed to peer pressure. I saw everyone else is picking Reinders. That means I have to pick him. When really he was never really a player I loved. I just kind of thought, well, everyone else seems to love him. He must be a great pick, and I do think he's a decent pick. But there just seems to be better options out there right now, particularly for cheap. A lot of good cheap options right now. So Reinders is fine, but he doesn't thrill me. He doesn't thrill me. So there you go. Storm Amy this weekend. I wonder if we may lose a match or two leading to double game weeks. I guess there's a chance. It's pretty uncommon for football matches to be called off due to weather. It happened last year, didn't it? Was it Liverpool-Everton? So it does happen occasionally, but, you know, we're looking at once every few years, we will see one game moved. So I would say the chances are pretty low, but, I mean, we can always be open to it. Quite maybe a nice idea to hold a free hit just in case we see any postponements. But I wouldn't expect it to happen, to be honest. For those of you guys asking about injury-related stuff, by the way, there's a lot of injury news on the ticker. So whatever you're looking for, hopefully that injury news is going to be down at the bottom of the screen where it says latest. Where's this latest news there? And we've got some updates on various players. Various players. 8.1 million for a midfielder. Any thoughts from Radar? I think I would go for Saar at 6.4. Emi Martinez injury. Oh yeah, he's injured. He's injured. We're not going to do the bench list quite yet. I feel like we're a little early in the stream to do the bench list. Or maybe we can put some players in. Let's wait until 5 UK. So now in 15 minutes we'll start loading up the bench list. Jack with a super chat in Australian dollars, mate. Wow. Pope, Virgil, or Donnarumma and Burn on a wild card. No Raya, since I'm already triple Arsenal. You know what, mate? I would go for Pope and Van Dijk, I think, mate. Yeah, Pope and Virgil, I think I would probably go for. But to be honest, I think I prefer Petrovic to Pope. I think if you're not going for Raya, I think Petrovic is my second favorite goalkeeper. Like that's who I'd go for if I couldn't go for Raya. But in terms of Pope versus Donnarumma, the Man City defenders, goalkeepers, they've been a constant disappointment for who knows how many years. When will we learn? I mean, they've not even looked good defensively this season, Man City. Like, how many clean sheets have they kept? Should we have a look? Let's go on the old Opta stats and have a look at some of their defensive data here. I think they're like upper mid-table for defensive data. Let's flip this. Okay, no, so they're up in 5th now on the non-penalty expected goals against, which is not too bad, but it's worse than Newcastle, Bournemouth, and Fulham, where there is some value there. Just 2 clean sheets in 6. 6 goals conceded. Like, it's okay. 6 goals conceded in 6 games. It's decent. But Donnarumma is 5.6 million. That's just so much money for a goalkeeper. If you're spending 5.6 million on a goalkeeper, that better be a goalkeeper for the best defense in the entire league. And that's Arsenal. So not huge on Donnarumma personally. Lots of Gabriel questions still. I think Gabriel will start. I think he will. Al Ryan says Joao Pedro to Gyökeres -4. Not for a -4, no. No, I wouldn't do it for a -4. That doesn't seem worthwhile to me. Salah to Saka if you don't own any Arsenal. Ooh, yeah. I think you got to consider it. And the money saved by going Salah to Saka, you could maybe even take a hit and upgrade one of your defenders to an Arsenal defender or a goalkeeper to Raya potentially there. That's what I think I would do. Even for a hit, I think I would consider it, depending on what defenders you have, how good they are. I already have Gay and Lacroix. Should I go Richards? No, you don't need all 3. That is overkill. Njai or Reinders to start? I'm going to say Njai. Best week to free hit? No idea, Daniel. I have no idea. I wish I knew. I've been trying to figure it out myself, my friend. But it's not easy. It's not easy to figure it out. Like I am literally just hoping that there is some kind of game cancellations and some double game weeks at some point. Who knows when? And yeah, that might be the moment. Thanks. Wondered about Gabriel in for -4, but I'm wildcarding next week. If that's the case, then yeah, maybe not. Not worth a hit for 1 week. Mark says Joao Pedro to Raul Jimenez for a differential. No, I don't think so. I don't think I would do it. Is Raul Jimenez even fully fit? He's like a late call. What was was there a final decision made on him? Hang on, let's find let's find the injury news. Maybe I missed the Fulham. The last I heard, the Fulham was going to be Jimenez at Fulham was going to be a kind of a last-minute decision to be made. Okay, here we go. Let's find Fulham. Fulham. Right, here we go. So Raul Jimenez faces a late fitness test ahead of the Friday night kickoff at Bournemouth. Silva added, about Raul, we have to wait. We are going to have a session on after. We are going to take a decision. Assess him today, Thursday, again, and see if he is going to be in condition for the game. So Yeah, doesn't look like a player that is worth buying based on that. You know, maybe we're looking at limited minutes there as well, even if he does start. But like, I mean, in all honesty, against Bournemouth away from home, a Bournemouth team who have been a good defense this season, not really seeing the vision there. Not really seeing that one as a transfer idea. Plays well, Pedro or Van der Ven? Oh, I think I'd bench Van der Ven. I think. Would I? Is that true? He's just so useless for defensive contributions. I've got in Gyökeres -4 for Gabriel, or wait till next week. If you're not wildcarding or anything next week, then I think you can take Gabriel for a -4, depending on your other defenders. Because it really does depend. Are you happy with the rest of your defenders? If you are, then there's less motivation there to get Gabriel, I suppose. Oh, by the way, I probably should say, guys, if you are enjoying this stream, I would massively appreciate a like on the stream. It really does help out the channel so much. We are also shooting for 240,000 subscribers. We only need 264 more, no, 265 more subscribers to hit 240,000. So we're getting close. We're getting very close. So yeah, if you can help me hit that target, you know, even if we hit that target before the next game week, you know, game week 8, bench boost week, I'll be very happy. I'll be very, very happy. So yeah, thank you guys for all of your help liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. Appreciated. Mucho apreciado. Okay, what else have we got here? I have Van der Ven, Cash, and the Senesi. Yeah, no real need. What about the rest of your team? Is there any other players you're not particularly keen on playing in the rest of your squad? Because 4 at the back is like totally fine. It's totally fine. A lot of people seem very shocked about the Reinders benching. Can I ask you guys an honest question? Because I know there's a lot of Reinders fans. Like there is and I think this is why I have him in my team, my squad in the first place, is because there's so much noise around Reinders. But can I ask you genuinely, guys, what is it that you've seen from Reinders that makes you think he's like an incredible FPL pick? Because I'm not seeing the vision. I'm not seeing the vision. I think he's actually playing a little more defensively than I would like him to. The only thing is, if Foden somehow doesn't start this game week, then that really improves Reinders, I think. Because then Reinders is the attacking, like the primary attacking midfielder. Like if, you know, maybe we see Rodri, 2 of Rodri, Nico, Kovacic, maybe, you know, something like that. And then Reinders is kind of a little more of a primary 10, then that could be really nice. But he's cost effective. That I 100% get. I 100% get that he is cost effective. But you don't play players based on their cost effectiveness. You play players based on, you know, how many points you think they're going to get, right? So it's difficult. It's difficult. Mabel says, hey, mate, Porro to Gabriel for free. Yeah, I like it. I think I would do it. I would do it. Hey, oh, that's the same question again. Timber or Gabriel, who to select? I would still go for Gabriel. I'm reasonably happy with him starting this game week. I'm reasonably confident. Not 100%, but you know, you can't be really 100% about anything in the world of football. Would you wildcard with Joao Pedro in? If not, who instead? Honestly, I think I maybe would. But not really because of this game week, but more for future game weeks where Chelsea do have such wonderful fixtures. If you're going for someone else though, like Voltemada is the obvious alternative, I think. Or, you know, if you have no bench boost left, just go for a cheapy forwards and spend the money elsewhere and just have a bench dud, I suppose. Xhaka and Gordon or Minter and Anthony? Minter and Anthony for me, I think. Grealish or Richarlison FPL draft? This game week, Richarlison for draft. He's not. If Richarlison was available on my my draft that I play, I would be picking him up this week for sure and starting him. Matthias says, "Hi Dan, I'm from Chile. I don't know if substitute toss into Gabriel or Josh King to Anthony Gordon. Please give me an answer. I already have 3 good defenders and 4 good midfielders, but 1 is Paqueta." Well, I mean, there's no problem with going 4 at the back, going for four defenders, and in that sense, toss into Gabriel is pretty nice. So yeah, I would go toss into Gabriel. I think we all, most of us probably agree that Arsenal players are the priority. If you haven't got 3 Arsenal players, it's not that you necessarily need to get to 3 Arsenal players, but more, that's where you probably spend your transfer in game week 7, is to get another Arsenal player, or your first Arsenal player, or your third Arsenal player. Whatever the case may be, as long as it's an Arsenal player, you're going to be happy. And that player is going to be Gabriel, Timber, Raya, Saka, Gyökeres, maybe Eze at a stretch. And I don't think I'd really be looking too closely at any of the others, to be honest. Right. I'm getting a little bit. I'm getting ready. I'm ready for a bench list. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready for a bench list. Min Song says, "So are you going Reinders bench?" I think so, but I'm so uncomfortable with this decision. The safe thing to do would be to just bench Richards. That would be the safe thing for me to do. But when have I ever been safe? I'm not about to start playing safe now, am I? Let's be real. Yeah, but I don't know. I cannot decide. It's so frustrating. Reinders, Joao Pedro, Richards. My head keeps going around between these 3 players. Which is the one to bench? I have no idea the correct answer. I have no idea. I don't think I want to bench Richards, even though that's a safe option. And then it's a case of picking your poison. Everyone has Joao Pedro. Everyone has Reinders. I think Brentford will sit deep, which could cause some issues for Reinders. I don't know. Would it cause issues for Reinders? It's a more of a Foden game, I would say, than a Reinders game. But like when you play as an attacker for a team as good as Man City, you've always got a chance of getting something. And if that chance, comes true, then I'm screwed. Then you could say the same thing about Joao Pedro. The exact same thing. You would hope Joao Pedro will be more directly involved, though. Not bench boosting this week. Definitely not. My bench is a lot better in game week 8, so I'm going to stick with the plan there. I'm not going to bench boost for the sake of one player. That seems a little silly. And bench boosting would involve, me playing my Spurs players against Stack. It would involve playing Alderete against Bruno. Not really something I want to do. I'm not bench boosting for one player. But I don't know. Do I just go sensible here and say, "Oh, we're going to bench Richards"? Shall we have a look? Let's see what the team looks like with Richards on the bench. Does this look nice? Just save it. Does that look nicer? What are the vibes saying? That looks like a nice team. That to me looks like a very nice and sensible team. That to me is what FPL was all about. But FPL has changed. And you either keep up or you get left behind. This is the safe answer, though. This is the safe answer. Richards not starting Richards, even if Richards gets a 15-pointer, it's not going to damage me. because hardly anyone has Riches. Riches, what, 3% owned? It's nothing. But Joao Pedro, 62.9. Reinders, 33.7. These are huge numbers. Oh. I don't know. Cyclopath says, weather disgusting here in North Wales. Any chance of cancellations to games this weekend, do you think, Dan? I would say unlikely. We very rarely see that. We very rarely see cancellations due to weather. It happens very occasionally. Once every couple of years, we might see one. So I don't think so. But, I mean, if there is one, great. Fantastic. I would love it. Because it would mean that maybe some of my bench players can come on. And I don't need to worry about making decisions. Oh, there's no way Kudus is going to the bench. If you saw him first half against Wolves when he was playing on his correct side on the right, he looked incredible. I don't know how he didn't score in that game. He had so many chances to score and assist as well. He had a chance to assist as well. Be brave, go with your initial thoughts. Well, my initial thoughts were this. That was my initial thoughts. But is it the right answer? Don't know. Let's save it as that. We've got an hour and a half till deadline. We'll continue to tinker. It's looking like a coin cost situation. You know what? I might even do a duck race. You guys heard of this, by the way? Duck race? Wait. How do we do this? Is this the right one? Race timers. We need... Oh, wait. You can do a minimum of... Oh, no. Here we go. 3. So we could do a 3 ducks. And we can name them. We can name them Reinders, Joao, Pedro, and Richards. And then we can start the race. And see who wins. This is not the real duck race, by the way, guys. This is just a test us duck race. And whoever loses the race will be benched. In this scenario, I think... Oh, we can race again. You can remove the winner and race again. Okay, well, we're definitely gonna do a duck race to make this decision. Then that is how we're gonna do it. Forget the towing costs. Duck races is what it's all about. And guys, if you want me to, do any duck races for any of your decisions, then let me know. We can duck race your FPL decisions as well. Why not? Could this be a new feature of the FPL Mate deadline streams? Duck races. Why not? Why not? We love a good duck race. I'm going to end that poll. We're going to put another poll up as well. And by the way, what the question on the last poll was, what will you do with Joao Pedro this game week? 51% of you guys said start him. 26% said bench him. 13% said don't own him. And 10% said not sure. The next poll question is going to be, who is your game week 7 captain? And we'll put Haaland, Gyökeres. Is Bruno Fernandes really worth putting on this list? I don't know. Maybe not. I think this is going to be a pretty straightforward captain poll to this week, though. Right, I promised a bench list. And I always deliver on my promises. So let's do that next. Just setting it up real quick, guys. And I think this is going to be a bench list that even I'm going to be looking at and being unsure about. But look, we'll do our best. We'll do our best to help you out with the bench decisions. Even if we require a duck race to help order some players. Right, okay. Let's throw it on screen. Here we go. So, I would like you guys to let me know, please. Who will you be? Well, who are you thinking of benching this week? Just name a player, throw them in the chat. A player you are thinking about benching. And we will fill this up with player aplenty. Let's just move this over here so I can see the chat at the same time. Right. We got some players. Right, let's go. Just throw them in. Rogers and Jai. I'm not comfortable with Rogers really. Bowen. Steve. Would I play a Steve? No, I wouldn't. Would I play a Steve over Bowen? You know what? Yeah, I would. Crazy as it sounds. Williams. Nico Williams. Away against Newcastle. Yeah, it's got to be on the bench, right? Probably below Bowen. Nico Williams. Oh, man, there's a lot of players coming in. Rodon. Maybe a go above Williams for those DEFCONs. Stack. Go here. Enzo Fernange. I like. I think I like. Ismaila Sarr I like. I would start Sarr. Joao Pedro is going to go below some of these players. I think I'm going to put Joao Pedro here. And for reference, I'm going to put Reinders. Where would I put Reinders in all honesty? Put Reinders here. I'm going to put Gravenberch below him. Anderson. Anderson, I think I would probably play. Maybe here for Anderson. Alderete. Probably would not play him. It's a little lower, I guess. Juve, I would definitely not play. You can go right at the bottom. Who's missing here? Out of like the key players that a lot of people have. Van de Ven and Virgil are really interesting ones. Van de Ven is going to go. It's got to be around here, I think. And Virgil was the other one. It's really tough. I would arguably put Virgil here. Richards. The more I look at this, it's like feels uncomfortable putting Richards too high here. Richards definitely goes above Van de Ven. This is where it gets tricky. He is somewhere in this area. I think. Oh, the more I think about it. It also with Richards, another issue is it depends. And I'm going to put him below because if you have Everton attackers, if you've got Njai or if you've got Grealish, I would use that as motivation to bench Richards. That's not to say Richards is a bad pick, but you wouldn't really want to go head to head with your players. Ideally, if you can avoid it, and you know there's a good chance you can avoid it this week. Petrovic. So Petrovic for me would go top of the goalkeepers at least. Romero would go above Van der Ven, and it would go above Richards, and would go. Yeah. Arguably, it goes above Joao Pedro as well. I think Romero goes up here. Tarkovsky is a tricky one. I'm going to put him here. By the way, when is the duck race? For my decision, I don't know. Igor Thiago? Do people own him? I'm going to try and stick with the more popular players rather than the differentials, I think. Kudus, you play 100%. In fact, Kudus is arguably top of this list. I know some people are not super keen on him. Anthony, I know a lot of people picked up Anthony this week, so I think we can put him in somewhere. I'm very tempted to play Anthony this week. Maybe here? Gvardiol? Yeah, good question. I think Gvardiol's probably worth playing, but maybe non-essential. So let's put Gvardiol. No Defcon. Decent fixture, but maybe capable of conceding. Maybe Gvardiol here. That feels right. Virgil's already on there. He's down here. Xavi Simmons. Is Xavi with Kudus? Yeah, I guess so. Not exactly, I don't think. I think Xavi is more... I think Xavi is maybe there. That feels about right to me. Richarlison goes very high for me. Richarlison can go up here. Minter also goes very high. In fact, arguably, I'm going to put Minter maybe even above Kudus this week. I really like Minter this week. Anyone else? We are filling up pretty fast here. Why is Gabriel on a yellow flag? Because he had a collision injury midweek. But yeah, a little bit sore. Should be fine to play. Strand Larsen is injured, from what I can tell. Jack with the super chat here says favorite forwards on a wild card outside of Haaland, Joao Pedro, and Gyökeres. I guess Voltemada would maybe be third for me. Or third, fourth. Who else? Forwards. Not a huge amount of forwards I like the look of right now, to be honest. Don't think I go for Richarlison. I don't think I go for Isaac Ekitike. No, I think that's pretty much it. Mateta, maybe? Maybe Mateta? Yeah, maybe Mateta as well. Right, Donnarumma. Who is Virgil? Virgil van Dijk, man. Come on. If you don't know, get to know. Donnarumma's going below Petrovic. Gravenberg is already on there. He's pretty low. Probably wasn't expecting that. Richards is on there. A lot of players you're asking about, guys, are already on there, to be fair. So check through the list before you say a name now at this point, I think, because we filled up quite well. I'll put Goodmanson next to Rodon. So yeah, lots of questions answered. Konsa is a player that we don't have on here. Strong arguments to play Konsa. I would put Konsa above Van der Ven. But that would maybe be as far as it goes. Like, good fixture, but poor for DEFCON and playing for a defense that hasn't exactly been super impressive either. I spelled Virgil wrong? Did I? Oh, it says Vigril. Was that the joke? My mistake. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to have misspelt Virgil. You guys, that's actually not the correct spelling of Virgil. Who's Vigril? Guys, who's Vigril? I don't know who he means. I've never heard of a Vigril. You knew who I meant. You know full well who I meant. Right. I think we've got the majority of the good players here. Wolves defenders, there we go, pretty low. Lacroix, you can throw him alongside Richards. Oh, sorry, sorry guys, I've misspelt Lacroix there. I put a Z by accident instead of the X. But can you tell who I meant, or Van der Ven surely not that low? I mean, like, good fixture, but no DEFCON. He loses his clean sheet and suddenly he's useless, which can't be said about so many of the other defenders these days. So, yeah, unfortunately, Van der Ven is just not particularly good. Bring the glasses again. I'll bring the glasses back again when something happens that's worth putting the glasses on for. If there's any actuallys in the chat, I'll be more than happy to bring the glasses back. We have other glasses as well for different situations. We have other props as well. Always fun on the FPL Mate streams. We do like to keep it light when we can. FPL is a game that causes enough stress. I feel like we need to have a little bit of fun here and there. You know the drill. Do you think Gabriel will start? Yes, I do. Livramento, I don't think he's going to start. Semenyo, I'm not going to put on here. You don't bench Semenyo. You're just not going to bench Semenyo. You're not going to bench Gabriel. I'll put Grealish next to Njai because I think they are similar. Gabriel, more like Gabriel. We misspell every name on here. Let's just switch around 2 letters. Let's start with Mitner. Mitner. Kasood. Richarl. Sisson. Sra. Esno. That doesn't work as well. Rogres. And Hatoni. Romrio. Joao Perdo. You think the thing is, have you seen those like they're not optical illusions, but like when you write a sentence out but switch 2 letters in every word, and then but you can still somehow read every single one of them because your brain just like automatically fixes the spelling of the whole thing. That is what I feel like I'm looking at. I mean, I can read these all perfectly, even though the spelling is atrocious. But let's fix it all regardless, because we don't need our brains to do any more work. Come on now. First and last letter have to be the same. Yeah, that's exactly it, Dequan. If the first and last letters are the same, you can jumble up all the middle like letters, and you can still, for some reason, read it. Your brain just kind of figures it out. Very clever. Our brains are very clever, aren't they? Virgil so low. Yeah, Vigril is he's not doing so hot down there, is he? Should Vigril be higher? I'm struggling to find a player above him that I genuinely prefer him to. I think a lot of people might be benching Vigril this week. Dorgu is not going on this bench list. I think, you know, he's too differential. I try and keep like these like the popular players, otherwise it just gets filled up. So I'm sorry, Rishav. Dorgu would go for reference pretty low. Somewhere around Estev, probably. Maybe somewhere down there. Munoz bench list is interesting. I actually kind of like Munoz for this week. Is he better than Richards and Lacroix, though, at this point? Probably not. I am going to put him here, though. So I do quite like him. Virgil was still better than Van der Ven, no. There's not much in it for me. It's not a huge amount in it. So I don't know. I'm not going to put Watkins on here. If you have Watkins, if you've held on to Watkins this long, you are not going to be benching him, I'm sure. News on Gabriel is positive. I think he is going to be playing. Arteta is not concerned about Gabriel, which is good to hear. Paqueta would be really low, like lower than Bowen. Like, oh, maybe DEFCON potential. Paqueta would be around Bowen on this. I wouldn't be looking to start him this week if possible. Do I buy Gabriel for Munoz or Richards? I'd rather. So sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm so tired. I'd rather sell Munoz than Richards. Is Salah a differential captain? For sure, he's a differential captain. That doesn't mean he's a good one, though. It does not mean he's a good one. I wonder if some people will be captaining him this week, though. Surely at this point, everyone's on Haaland. News on Ekatike. Does he start? He's back in training, I believe. Maybe today, but I don't know if that necessarily means he's going to start. Why not considering Sarr? I am. I'm very much considering Sarr. I really like Sarr. I've spoken about him a number of times this week. Paredes says I missed Super Chat. Did I? Oh, so I did. I'm so sorry, Paredes. I own only Gabriel. I could do either toss into Senesi or Reynildo to Senesi for -4. If I downgrade and throw Verts away, drop some price again today, thoughts on Erdegaard? No, I wouldn't be looking at Erdegaard. Bench 1, Joao Pedro, Reinders and Jai, wildcard A. I don't think I'd take a -4 if you're wildcarding next week anyway. Like, Senesi's good, but probably not worth a -4, probably. You could probably, you know, work it out with whatever you've got right now. Yeah, if you're wildcarding next week, then I wouldn't be taking a -4. If you're thinking about taking -4s and -8s and what have you, is there not an argument to just wildcard now, though? If you know you're going to change, you want to change loads of your team. The only reason I would hold off on a wild card is if I really liked my team for game week. But if you actually don't like a lot of your team, then that should maybe, you know, prompt a slightly earlier wild card. But you have only an hour left to make that decision, so it's not particularly easy. Why'd you go hard on Gay in every buy so keep avoid video? I mean, like, to be fair, last week he played against Liverpool, and you know, I don't think it is advisable to buy defenders when they're about to play like the best attack in the league. Or it certainly is not something I'd ever be comfortable with recommending. But also, I just prefer Richards. Like, that is my preference. And in my videos, I can't. It's so tricky. There is always a temptation when making FPL videos to just tell people what they want to hear. And those are the videos that go down the best. You know, if you just tell everyone what they want to hear, then, you know, everyone's happy. But you can never really do that because everyone has different opinions. And people are always going to disagree one way or another. in my FPL videos, I can only give my own opinion. I can't give someone else's opinion in my videos. Well, I kind of can. Like the 100 experts videos, that is not about my opinion. That is about, collecting data from other top FPL managers. But the videos I'm making, and I'm kind of trying to rank players based on my own opinion and what I'm seeing. Like, my my tools in which to rank players is kind of it's sequenced through my brain, and if I don't like a player, I don't like a player. So that's why they're not going to rank very highly in my videos. But I always say, if you want a player, to be ranked highly in a video, make your own video. Go ahead, make a video. You can put all of your players at the top of the list, and you can put all the players you don't like. You can put them right at the bottom. You can call them sells. You can call them avoids. You can say they're terrible, and you can do that because it's your video. Let's end the captain poll, by the way, guys, because I think it's probably the most pointless poll in the universe. Haaland is the captain this week, isn't he? Oh, is this going to be the same case every week? Is it just going to be Haaland captain season? Boring. Any reason why Romero is so high? I think he has a little more attacking threat. I think he has a little more DEFCON threat. But if I'm 100% honest, this, let's say, hang on. Can you see the highlighting? Yeah, you can. This area that I've highlighted is a mess. Any one of any of these players could outscore any of the other players. This area is an absolute mess. So, yeah, Romero is higher than Virgil, for example. Virgil can easily outscore Romero. Anthony can easily, lose out to Van de Ven. Konsa can outscore Joao Pedro. Richards can outscore Njai. It's all chaos. Am I sure Gabriel is absolutely fine? I mean, no, he took a pretty nasty knock and in the midweek and hurt himself. But he's trained since then. The manager says he's fine, and I don't know what other information we're meant to go off. What can we do? What can we do? Who is Virgil? Do you mind? What do you think of Vigral? Vigral, I probably wouldn't play this week. Virgil, there is some argument to play Virgil ahead of certain players, but Vigral, not so much. Not so keen on Vigral. I'm not going to add Gordon. I feel like if you've bought Gordon, you're going to play him. Remember, this is a bench list and not a transfer list. I know some people treat it like a transfer list. It's literally looking at this game week in isolation. So taking transfer advice from a bench list is probably not a good idea. Evan Nilsson is a player who could potentially go on here, in fairness. Where would I put him? Somewhere here. Maybe here? Oh, hang on. Let me... Evan Ilson. Something like that. Hi, Dan. Should I bench triple captain Haaland? Yeah. Exactly. These are the questions people have been asking. Grealish blanked third week in a row. Possible sell soon. Yep, I think so. I think the Everton players, particularly as their fixtures do start to get a little rougher. Their only nice fixture is Sunderland in game week 10. I wouldn't even call that a standout fixture anymore. So, it sure is a toughie. It sure is. Start one between Alderete, Dorgu, and Nico Williams. Oh dear, Rishav. It's not great, is it? Let's go for Alderete, I think. But I wouldn't expect too much from any of those three. How about Mateta? If you have Mateta, you're playing him this week, without doubt. Like, there's a few players that should not be on this bench list. That if you have them, you start them. Start Romero or Joao Pedro. I think Romero. But again, they're super tight on the bench list, so you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. Kieran says, "Do you think Haaland triple captain is a good idea this week?" We need a duck. We need a duck race. We need some duck races to make some decisions at this point. The bench list has gone as far as it can go. I can't help you anymore with the bench list. We must have a duck race. So let's change things up. So the first question was, should I triple captain Haaland? Wait, let's change this to TC Haaland. Actually, no, let's simplify this. Haaland times 3. And then I'm going to put Haaland times 2 in. And then we're going to put Haaland times 1. So we're going to find out which one you should do. Because I think this is probably about the spread of how likely I would be to do each of these possible things. So let's go done. And let's start the race. I want it to be a... Oh, what's going on here? I want it to be a 30-second race. And we're going to start. So this is going to help you make your decision on whether to triple captain Haaland, whether to just normal captain Haaland, or maybe to not captain Haaland at all. Simon says bench booster Brabka, Senesi, Richarlison, Tonali, have Virgil. I'd be playing Richarlison above Virgil. I'd be playing Senesi above most defenders as well. Almost all defenders. Only Arsenal defenders I'd play above Senesi as well. So, Simon, I'm not sure if you've got your bench in the right order there. I think if you were to change up your bench, the bench boost would look a little less appealing. But anyway, let's find out whether you should triple captain Haaland this week. If that little duck at the bottom wins, you should triple captain Haaland. And right now, it is winning. That plain duck at the bottom is winning, but it looks like it is falling off a little bit. Single captain Haaland is coming up the rear here. That is somewhat concerning, but it looks like it's going to be no triple captain Haaland, and just normal captain Haaland is going to win. So Haaland times 2, normal captain on Haaland is the winner for today. So no triple captain Haaland has been decided. Apologies to anyone who wanted to triple captain Haaland. The triple captain Haaland duck did not win. Bench boost is so tricky. It's entirely team dependent whether you should bench boost. Get your bench in order, then see, and also then get your bench in order for game week 8 as well. And just look, does your bench look stronger in game week 7 or does it look stronger in game week 8? You could even go further into the future and see, when is your bench going to look at its strongest? For most people, I think their bench will look stronger in game week 8 than game week 7. But if you really, really like the look of bench boost 7, then go for it. If you really are having such bench headaches, you love all of the players on your bench, or at least 3 out of 4 of them, just go for it. But I think for most people, whatever problems you think you have in game week 7, you will have them more so in game week 8. Unless you Oh, I've broken my glasses. Or have I? No, I haven't. It just snaps on. Um, unless you have like Dewsbury Hall, I think that's the exception. Maybe because Dewsbury Hall has a worse fixture next week. If FPL says late to the party, mate. Sorry, bench one of Romero, Richardson, and Jai. Good luck this weekend. I would bench one of Richards or Jai. I wouldn't bench Romero. I think, yeah, it's got to be one of Richards or Jai because they play against each other anyway. I would genuinely be tempted to bench Jai. Really, really tempted. Really tempted. Why is Gabriel marked yellow? Because he had a nasty fall in the midweek. That's why. Main man Dan says I go into the shop for 5 minutes and the content takes a full 180. What is in this screen? Well, this is duck races. Duck races are great for decision making. They're arguably better than coin tosses and toin tosses. So it's if there is any decisions you guys need to make, then certainly we can help you. We can help you. Have you used a wild card yet? Yes, I have. I have, and pretty successful as well. Hustle Mine says, "Let's see your team." This is kind of what it looks like right now. At this exact moment, I'm gonna bench Richards, but I'm not happy about it. This seems too safe, too boring. Far too safe, far too boring. People asking me if Gabriel will start. I cannot tell you that with any exact precision. It looks very likely that he's going to start. It looks likely that he's going to start. I need to put like a big banner on screen or something. Like I have the ticker at the bottom. Maybe we should just do away with that. No one cares about the other injury news. Gabriel is looking good. Think of the content. If Gabriel doesn't play, you want big points first on your bench. Yeah. We'll see. This is just FPL now, isn't it? JC says, yeah, I've joined the wrong YouTube channel. Can the generator help me improve in my marriage life? I don't know. Do you have any big marital questions that you would like to ask the ducks today? If so, we can figure it out. May says, Enzo, Minter, Saar. Can you choose two out of these three? I'm going to say Minter and Saar. Bench Porro or Richards? I would bench Porro before I bench Richards, I think. Saar, Kudus, or Gordon. To buy, probably Saar. I'm not so confident in Joao Pedro against Liverpool. I don't think anyone is super confident about that. Joao Pedro not shown too much recently, but Liverpool haven't exactly looked great. And Joao Pedro has been playing for a team with 10 men quite a lot recently. So maybe that has impacted game state a little bit. But look, I think Joao Pedro is he's fine to start. He's absolutely fine to start. It's just a question of, do you have better on your bench? And that is so difficult. I'm not going to play Alderete ahead of Richards. Not going to happen. I know people, that the Man United hate train is like everyone's always going to be like, yeah, play whoever is against Man United, just play them. But there's still better players than Alderete, I think, this week. Alderete is great in the right moments. I don't think away from home against a team that creates as many chances as Manchester United is necessarily the move, necessarily the play. Bench boost, Van Dijk, Stack, Petrovic, Joao Pedro. Genuinely, maybe. But again, does that look better next week? Possibly. Liam says, Kia ora, bro, here from New Zealand, currently milking cows at 5:40 a.m. That is super specific. Well, Liam, enjoy the cow milking. Not a sentence I ever thought I would say on this YouTube channel, but here we are. And Kia ora to you as well. Rita ora to you as well. Thank you very much for the super chat, mate. And good luck this game week, Liam. What does Kia ora mean? Should I be reading? Should I be reading? That could mean anything. That could be a horrible, horrible racist thing to say, and I wouldn't know. I would never, never know. Main man down wants a duck race. Who do I bench? Anderson, Forest Mid, Richards, or Reinders? Okay. Say no more. So what was it? Anderson, Reinders, and who? Anderson, Richards, or Reinders? Okay. So we're gonna do this one a little differently. We're just gonna do like a. We're going to do 20-second. Now let's do 15-second races, because this is going to be 2 rounds to decide who is going to bench. So whoever wins this one is clear. You're going to start whoever wins this one, and then after that we'll have a battle for the bench. Ooh, probably not what you wanted to see, but you're going to start Anderson. It's not ideal. I would not want to start Anderson personally, but listen, the Ducks have spoken. So you're going to play Anderson, and you're going to play the winner of this race. And it looks like it could be Reinders and Richards for the bench. Yeah, Richards is for the bench. There we go. There we have it. Congratulations. Kia ora just means hello in Maori. Ah, okay. I'll remember it. Vibav with the super chat says, go for Madashvili and Dubravka on my wildcard this week. I don't really think it's worth it. Whilst Allison is out for 6 weeks, right? 2 of those weeks are international breaks. Yeah. So, in that sense, you're getting Marmadashvili for 4 game weeks. One of them's against Chelsea, where you might want to play Dubravka in that game week anyway, potentially. Maybe not, but still. Is it worth it? I don't think so. If I'm on a wild card, I think going for Marmadashvili is trying to be a little bit too clever. And, any value gained by, or not even value, any, budget freed up by going for such a cheap goalkeeper, for a worse goalkeeper as well. Petrovic is not that much more expensive than Mamardashvili, and I think he'll get more points. Saving yourself a transfer later down the line. Is that 0.3 million or whatever it is, 0.2 million worth it? Worth the trade-off? For me personally, no. So there you go. There you have it. Right. More Gabriel questions. Gabriel is probably going to be fine. There is more details in the ticker at the bottom. Are you going with the team you have at the moment? My team has changed 3 times during this stream, so who knows, honestly. This is where it is right now. We'll see where we land at deadline. I don't know. All answers are good answers. I don't think there's a correct answer here, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, honestly, guys, I'm so unsure. Anderson in place of Gabriel. Now, honestly, Gabriel was the guy. Buy him, play him, start him. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed on Gabriel. Minter or Njai? Definitely Minter over Njai. Should we put the bench list back on screen? There's a few bench-related questions, so it might be worthwhile. Right, there we go. Marte says hello from Thailand, and hello back to you from the United Kingdom. I'll tell you what, though. If anyone's got a similar team to me, I would like it if someone else didn't do the same thing as me. Then at least I know if my decision goes horribly wrong, then at least there's someone else out there who's benefiting. At least someone else has got it right. So that's a great question. Has anyone got the same... Right, let me know in the chat if you have the same benching dilemma as me between you have to bench one of Richards, Joao Pedro, and Reinders. Is anyone in that same situation as me? If you are, if I can find 2 people who are in the same situation and us 3 can all do a different combo, and that way at least one of us wins. Can we do something like that? Would that work? We've got a few people. Pratik, Jonas, Savage, Ash, Baran, and Yap. If between all of us, we all do a slightly different combo, then one of us is guaranteed to win. It's like a little cheat code. Timur as well. You can all lose. We can't all lose. Unless they all blank, then we can't all lose. So Rico sounds like you're in the same situation. You've put Richards in and put Pedro on the bench. Okay, so that's one combo done. Presumably you've got Reinders playing as well. So now we just need someone to put Richards on the bench and someone to put Reinders on the bench out of those 3. And then we've got it covered. Yap is benching Richards. Okay. So now we just need someone to bench Reinders. And we've got everything covered. And I'll just join in on one of them. And then one of us is going to win. Is anyone brave enough to bench Reinders? If not, then that is worrying. And maybe that tells me that I shouldn't be benching Reinders either. Rob says, Reinders just can't be benched, man. He looks so good. Looks good at football, but like, does he look good from an FPL perspective? I'm not seeing it. I'm really not seeing the vision. I feel like I must be the only person on planet Earth who's not super enthusiastic about Reinders from an FPL perspective. I cannot stress that enough. Rick says I bench Reinders. Okay, we've got all combos sorted. One of us will win. Can't tell you who it's going to be. Baran says I'll bench him as well. All right, Baran. You're a brave soul. Thank you very much. Cool. We've got everything covered. We've got all situations covered. Some of us are going to win. Some of us are going to lose. The important thing is that some of us are going to win. R says I'm starting JP and Richards. Another Reinders bencher. We don't need too many of you to bench Reinders. We don't want to put all of our chips in one. All our chips in one basket? That doesn't make sense. All of our eggs in one basket. We need a good spread. Some of us benching Richards. Some of us benching Reinders. Some of us benching Joao Pedro. And then we'll come back to this. We're going to come back to this probably in next game week stream. Oh, there is no stream next game week. I don't even know. Well, whenever it is. Maybe on Twitter. Maybe on Twitter. We can see who is the winner. But we will find out this weekend. Chips in one basket. I like it. FPL themed, isn't it? Yeah, true. Would you take Javi or Eza in a draft league? I think I'd take Eza in a draft league. I think Crystal Palace keep a clean sheet, though. So do I. Which is why I do not want to bench Richards at all. It pains me to see him on my bench. I want to bench. You know who I want to bench? Reinders. But nobody agrees with me. Everyone's saying Reinders is, the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not seeing the vision. This is my gut. This is what my gut is telling me right now. Bench Reinders. Because, like, if let's say Man City score 3 goals. There is absolutely no guarantee that Reinders is involved in any of them. But man, is he a dangerous player to not own or to not start. So dangerous. I'm not bench boosting. That is off the table. Off the cards. It's not happening. Who are you taking over Reinders for the price, though? Minter, Anthony, Paqueta. The Sar count? Ismaila Sar? There's a few. I won't go any higher than a Sar's price, though. What's Richards guaranteed to do? Defcon. Everton don't score more than one, I don't think. So Richards looks to me like a 4-point floor. And I like that. And that's, by the way, Reinders is a realistically 6 points for Reinders is success. Yet Richards 4 points is kind of expected. So that's it. But if Reinders scores, but like there's nothing really to suggest that Reinders will score. I mean, look at his numbers. Let's go here. Man City. Look at his XG, man. 0.73 XG. Yeah, he's taken a couple of shots from range. Yes, they can sometimes find the back of the net. But these are not good numbers. I'm pretty sure Richards probably has similar attacking numbers to Reinders. Like, João Pedro just has better numbers. Like, there's no doubt about that. Richards has 0.25 XG. Like, there's not exactly a huge difference between them. Six games, 0.73 XG. 2 assists somehow from 0.49. I guess that's just having Haaland on your team, to be fair. Ugh. Los Hobbitov says he will definitely score this week. It always happens like this. Say something bad about a player and they end up scoring. This is my issue. I have no doubt that Reinders is capable of scoring this game. And he probably will score this game. Because if I bench Reinders, he will score. It just feels like the way FPL works. And I'm so scared of going against the crowd here, which is what is pushing me towards benching Richards, even though Richards is actually my favourite of Richards, João Pedro, Reinders. Richards is my favourite. But I'm going to bench Richards because I'm scared of how many people have João Pedro, how many people have Reinders. Scary, man. Take him for the team and bench him. So, okay, if I bench Reinders, and I think that means he will guarantee score a goal, I guess I'm doing other people a favour. Is it an act of charity? Don't go with the crowd. It's embarrassing. Trust your gut. No, Andy. What's embarrassing is when, you know, people are looking to what content creator to follow and they see me a million rank behind everyone else because I'm the only idiot who benched Reinders. That's embarrassing. And I lose following. I lose my job. I have to sell my house. My wife divorces me. And I live at the local dump where me and my cat. I'll probably lose the cat. What am I talking about? I'll lose the cat as well. My wife will take him. Is this the life you want for me? Because if so, I will bench Reinders right now. You want me to lose everything? My whole livelihood? All because I benched Reinders? That's not the life I want. Oh, I'll send you the funds to keep Milton. Thank you, Jeremy. At least, you know what? If at least I can keep my cat, then there you go. FPL Harry is benching Richards. Well, he has all of the luck every week. But I really like Richards. I think, in fairness to Harry, and this does change things. If I had Njai and if I had Tarkovsky, I too would bench Richards, and I wouldn't really think about it because I wouldn't want to play my players against each other. That said, I think Richards is better than Tarkovsky. I think Richards is better than Njai. He's cooking show team can. It feels like it. It feels like it. We do need a duck race to kind of figure this out. Play Reinders so he doesn't score and it plays in Arsenal's favour. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Rory says, who to bench? Sanchez, Van Dijk, Senesi, Porro, Richards, Esteve, Reinders, Semenyo, Kudus, Eze, and Jai, Joao Pedro, Gyökeres, Haaland. Who to bench? How many players is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you bench Esteve. You bench... There's a lot of good players. In your situation, you kind of have to bench Reinders, right? Or Joao Pedro. So you bench one of... you bench Reinders. What am I talking about? You bench Reinders over Joao Pedro, surely. Surely. Oh. Fraser, I've read your comment. That is quite funny. Who would I bench? I'd bench Esteve. I would bench Pedro, Porro, or Van Dijk. Probably... I'd bench Van Dijk. And I would bench Reinders. There you go, Rory. I think that's what I would do. Tough one, though. Tough one, though. We're going to need a duck race. What about your Spurs players? I'm not worried about my Spurs players. I'm not worried about them. They're fine. They're playing. Unless... I mean, how does this look? I don't love this. I can't lie. I don't love this. But it is a way of being able to play Richards and playing safe by playing Reinders and Joao Pedro. But I don't love it. I have Romero for a reason, and this game week is one of those reasons. I want to play Romero. Yacht captain too risky, right? I mean, it's too risky for me. Just bench Richards, mate. No more worries. Yeah, I mean, I probably will end up doing that, but it goes against everything that I believe in. Not everything I believe in. That's a huge exaggeration. It goes against my gut feeling, my opinions. And it is just the fact that I make FPL content basically dictating how I play FPL, which is something I do need to do because I haven't done that the last couple of seasons and I've paid a price for it. A huge price, actually. A bigger price than you guys can probably imagine. Yeah. The YouTube channel has not fallen off, but it's completely plateaued just because I've had 2 seasons of playing 2 differential. Before that, everything was going great. Because when the differentials work, everything is amazing. Everyone loves it. Everyone thinks you're a genius. But when the differentials and the alternative ways of thinking don't work, which happens just as often, if not more often, yeah, it's bad news. And everyone flocks to the template managers. So now, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. And we will go boring. But if I'm you, I will play Richards. If my livelihood is not on the line, I play Richards. You play Gabriel, Sam. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Let the Ducks decide who to bench. I just don't know if I just think I mean, I don't know. I like Risky Dan, a guy who wants to have fun. I like that guy as well. That guy ain't paying the bills. And yeah, I have responsibilities. Seeing you pulling your hair out over this decision has convinced me to bench Anderson over Richards and Reinders. I wish I had Anderson so I could bench him. I wish I had. That'll be easy. T. Salama says forwards, Haaland, Pedro, DCL, mids, Reinders, Semenyo, Kudus, stack. Nothing in the bank. 3 free transfers. Thoughts? Just roll to 4. You got nothing in the bank. I'm not a huge fan of having to play one of Calvert-Lewin or Stack, but I guess you play Stack, don't you, over Calvert-Lewin, right? Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing in the bank. You're going to need a big restructure to maybe deal with that, but yeah, no, roll, I think. But having to play DCL or Stack every week doesn't fully sit well with me. And I would want to deal with that situation at some point or another. Ryan says bench 1 of Romero, Gavardiol, Reinders, and Joao Pedro. I would bench maybe even Gavardiol, to be honest. Who else would you bench here? You're not going to bench Romero over Gavardiol. What are the clean sheet odds saying? Maybe we use this to help make decisions. I've not even looked at the clean sheet odds. Let's see here. We've got some predicted points here. Top predicted points for the week. Jai is quite high there. So is Lacroix, which suggests that probably Richards is going to be high as well. What's page 2? Huh. That's interesting. All right. Right. Oh, the market odds only came out an hour ago from Rob T. Big shout out. Right, let's see them. So, can we actually switch to... We don't really need the win, draw, loss. Okay, so... Bournemouth 35%, nice. Arsenal 52%, of course. Everton 32%, Crystal Palace 28%. Man City 32%. Crystal Palace 28% of chance of a clean sheet. That's as much as Spurs. And yet... Richards has better clean sheet odds. No, it's the same clean sheet odds as Romero, but Richards has better DEFCON. That suggests to me that I do this. That suggests that. Kudus out for Saar this week. Is it worth it? Definitely not. No. I say definitely not. I would not do it, personally. I wouldn't even think about doing it. Doku or Minter on the wild card. Definitely prefer Minter. I don't agree with Man United being third, most likely to keep a clean sheet. I don't know. Sunderland are not great in attack. They score these like strange and wonderful goals occasionally, but I don't think they've been like a good attack generally. We're back on this. I think I'm gonna. Gut says this. I need to follow my gut. I'll be so annoyed if I don't follow my gut and it doesn't go right. I'll be so annoyed. I hate these things. Well, as soon as my bench boost is gone, I'm putting 0 money on the bench and never making a decision again. Warwick says play 1. Joao Pedro, Richards, and Jai Reinders. Yeah, that one I would be. I think you basically have to play one of Richards or Njai. You pick your poison. What do you think is more likely to happen? Njai to, well, Everton to score? Well, specifically Njai to score or assist, or Richards to keep a clean sheet. think I prefer Richards to enjoy. I think I prefer Richards to enjoy. At the end of the day, it's not going to be a big swing. Yeah, I mean, hopefully not. Follow your heart or follow your head. My heart and head are telling me the same thing to bench Reinders. They're both telling me the same thing. Is this a wildcard team? This was a wildcard game week 6. Yeah, game week 6. Everton has home turf, though. That's big for them. I mean, weren't they... Well, let's go over here a second. So weren't they at home in last game week? Yeah. So against West Ham, their whole team... Hang on, let's find the exact stats here. Against West Ham, they only generate like what 0.7 xg or something, and that was a home game. Teams, let's go non-penalty xg. So yeah, they were despite being against West Ham, they had the third worst xg at home last week, with just 0.74. And yes, they scored, but from a set piece against West Ham, you know, took just 12 shots. That's not too bad. 9 in the box. 3 of them were headers. They didn't have a great game week. And the game week before as well, if we go to game week data, Everton have some of the worst numbers in attack. So I really do think that there's a good chance that we can get some points from Richards. So, or a clean sheet. And, you know, worst case scenario, like I say, you're looking at a 4-pointer, right? Triple captain Watkins? No way. Not a chance. Not a chance. Play Reinders or Van Dijk / Anderson? Probably Reinders. Probably. Bench list, please. Okay. Yes, sir. Here is your bench list for this evening. Do you think it's a viable option to bring Wirtz in at 8.1 million? No. I think we're probably not going to be bringing in Wirtz this week. I'm benching Reinders for Xhaka. Wow, fair play. What do you think of Gabriel captain? Nah, it's got to be Haaland, man. Got to be Haaland. I can't lie, Dan. I subscribe because of your differentials. You need to trust your gut. It's working for me. Fair enough, man. It's so difficult because the last 2 seasons, trusting my gut and my differentials and stuff just haven't worked at all, and it is denting to the confidence. Prior to that, amazing. Differentials coming off. Everything was going well. Scott says, are you staying after the deadline? Probably not, to be honest, mate. Only because I've been streaming for 2.5 hours, which is quite a long time. I need to refill my drink. I need to get something to eat, man. Will Gabriel play? Probably. Gabriel is not going out of my team. Like, if you have Gabriel, you play him. I would still think there's a strong argument to buy Gabriel this week if you don't have him. Yeah. Which Newcastle midfielder will you recommend? Gordon would be the one I'd go for. High Burn versus Romero. Honestly, not sure out of those two. If you're buying new, I'd go for Burn. Jasmine says, what are you going to eat, Dan? Now, that is a great question that I don't know the answer to be honest. I don't know the answer. Yeah, not sure. I'll have to figure that out. I have missed a couple of super chats. I do apologize. Right, let's catch up on these that I've missed. So Mohammed says, would you bench Munoz or Njai? I would bench. I think I would bench Njai. I think I would bench Njai over Munoz. Robert says Foden to Saka or Pedro to Gyökeres for free. Ooh. I don't love either of them. That is just a scary, scary transfer move, no matter how you frame it. But I prefer Foden to Saka, I think. All right. Ryan, did we answer this super chat? Bench one of Romero, Gavardio, Ryan, or Joao Pedro. I think I did. I think I said to Gavardio. Warwick, we answered you. Kong says triple captain Watkins, and I said no. No, definitely not. We need to be saving that triple captain chip for Haaland one week. I mean, I'd be tempted to triple captain Haaland this week. I don't think I'm. Well, I'm not going to do it, but I'm not. I'm not against triple captaining Haaland at all this week. Watkins, though, I don't know. Costa, yeah. Draft content is on the cards at some point or another because I do play fantasy draft and I do enjoy fantasy draft a lot. So fantasy draft content is something that I am thinking about. I just don't know if there's enough of an audience for it. That's the only question. Is there an audience for fantasy draft content? I don't know. I think most people, well, the vast majority of people do not play fantasy draft. So yeah, there you go. What is the benefit of wildcard 13 over 8? I guess a wildcard 13 would maybe have more Liverpool players in it. Whereas a game week 8 wildcard probably doesn't have any Liverpool in it. And Liverpool players are hard to get to using transfers alone. But if you feel you can roll transfers to game week 13 then and use, lots of free transfers to sort out Liverpool players in your team, then I think that's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. Vicario versus Ruffs. I'd play Vicario, I think. Any fantasy football suggestions on USA on a receiver would be appreciated. You're asking the wrong guy, man. Sid Vicious says wildcard, Gabriel or Timber, Minter or Caicedo or Anthony. I would go Gabriel and Minter, Sid. Easy stuff. Bench Richards, Anderson or Porro. I would probably bench Porro in that trifecta. That's what I would do. For 1 week punt before wildcard, bring in Saka or Timber. I think if you're going for a 1 week punt, and I don't really think 1 week punts are a thing anymore, considering you can roll transfers through your wildcard now. I just think Saka feels a bit more exciting, doesn't it? But Timber, man. Good old Timber. He could go off at any point. But Saka feels more exciting. I don't know. That's a really tough one. Arguably, just don't go for a 1 week punt at this point. Man, I missed the 1 week punts. Yeah. They are sadly a bit of a relic of the past, aren't they, at this point? But they were fun. Really, really fun. I miss them too. I really do. Right, can I take the bench list off screen now? So I can stare at this absolute horror show of a decision. Just over 15 minutes until deadline, by the way, guys. Still, the questions about Gabriel's injuries are continuing to come in. Is Gabriel injured? Probably not. Manager thinks he's okay. He's trained just fine, which all suggests that Gabriel is going to be fine. I'll think about Costa. I'll think about it. Of how I can integrate some draft content. I'll think about it because it is something I'd like to do. Right. Console or Porro? I think I'd lean Concert over Poro. I think. Is that true? I guess so, yeah. Poro over Concert. What's your view of a 5 Defcon Defenders strategy? 5-2-3 or 5-4-1? I quite like it. Yeah, I quite like it. Yeah, I can see myself moving towards that at some point. I mean, I'm already at 4-3-3 apparently this week, so yeah. Yeah. Semenyo or Gyökeres captain? If I had to captain one of them, it would be Gyökeres over Semenyo. Is it a crime to not to have any Arsenal players this week? It is a dangerous game to not have any Arsenal. A very dangerous game. Very dangerous indeed. You know, the one good thing about Reinders not playing until the last game of the week is that he doesn't have to ruin my weekend until right at the end. I can enjoy my whole weekend before. Ben says, going nuts and taking a -16. Oh, my word. Have you not got a wild card to use? Voltemada or Richarlison? Definitely Voltemada. Definitely Voltemada. Out of those two. You know, if you're looking long term. Safa Kudus? Nope. Wouldn't do it personally. Will Gabriel play? I think he will. Answering that question every 2 minutes. But that's the gig. Start Foster or Joao Pedro? I don't know. Start Joao Pedro over Foster. Sid says Pope or Sanchez if I have Burn and thought about Burn. I mean, I prefer Pope to Sanchez, I think, generally. I prefer Petrovic as well. I don't know. Tim V's back. Thank you for the £2 super chat, Tim. It's good to see you back. Lying about your rank for another season. It's been a while, Tim. It's been a while. It used to be like every game week you would spend your hard-earned money on putting super chats in the FPL Mate streams to lie about your rank. Crazy. Dan, fancy wildcard Haaland last minute? Oh my, it is last minute, my friend. It really is last minute. If you're going to be wildcarding, I'd get on with it. I would, I'd be doing that right now. You've not got very long. You've not got very long. Agbadu or Richards to start and first half? You definitely play Richards ahead of Agbadu. Danny, you have said you will hype and like. Thank you. You have to hype and like now. I appreciate that. What happened to the show team gang? Yeah, they've kind of died off. Maybe that's my own fault for having mediocre ranks for the past 2 seasons. But after this season, after our phenomenal season we're going to have this year, the show team gang will be back. I can already sense them looming, getting ready to try and copy my team every single week for the rest of time. You don't know what you've got until you lost them. I'll tell you that. Why mention Reinders now? I don't know, Kareem. I don't know. I don't know what to do. My gut is telling me to bench Reinders. That is all I'm working with at this point. The underlying data, from a data perspective, Reinders is the guy to bench. I'm not been super impressed by Reinders. I kind of wish I never bought him in the first place on my wild card. And all of these things are telling me, okay, if you feel all of these things towards Reinders, why are you even playing him when he's a part of a bench dilemma? Just stick him on your bench. However, we will do a duck race. Now, if we just add Joao Pedro to the duck race, how long should the duck race be? I feel like we've got to get some... 30 seconds works pretty well. So, if you win a race, you don't get benched. So, I think I'm going to bench Reinders. If Reinders loses the duck race, though, that locks it in for me. That locks it in. Richards, come on, man. I really want to play you. So, just win the duck race. Please. Please win. Those tuning in now are going to be very confused as to what's going on. But this is it. Alex, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Oh no, Reinders is going to win the duck race. Okay, well, that is a bad omen. That is a very bad omen. I don't usually believe in bad omens, but maybe that suggests I should play Reinders. Let's race again. So who should I bench in that case? Oh, I should have put Romero on here as well. Matt says bench Pedro or Njai. Pedro or Richards, 2 teams. Bench Njai and bench Richards, I guess. Double or nothing? Yeah, maybe. Trust the duck. Oh, come on then, Richards. You're saying bench Joao Pedro. Okay, well, this suggests I should bench Joao Pedro. The duck race is making a suggestion. So, do we follow the ducks? Are they just going to keep quacking away in the background? They are. Let's just turn that off. I don't know if you guys can hear the quacking, but I certainly can. Can't deny the dark. I can't, can I? Louis Moss says bench booster Bravka, Reinders, Romero, Rodon, worth it. No, that bench is stronger game week 8 than it is in game week 7, so I'd wait till game week 8. Sid says, is Dan Burn nailed enough? I mean, there's nothing really to sit. I mean, I also worry about this, is why I've not really looked at Burn, but there's not really been anything to suggest that Dan Burn isn't nailed. So maybe it's just classic overthinking, and Burn is absolutely fine. By the way, guys, I do appreciate all the super chats that have been coming in today. They all really do help out the channel a whole bunch. So you're saying restart the duck race, but with Romero in as well. Okay, fine. Because at this point, honestly, I feel like I'm more likely to bench Romero than I am to bench Richards. But there's 8 minutes to decide. So this is going to be a 3 race. This is going to be a 3 race extravaganza. Let's shuffle the characters. Richards the clown. Pedro the fancy boy. Romero is a reindeer for some reason. And Reinders is a Viking. You know what? That kind of works. Because Richards does have an afro. Reinders is from the area, roughly the area of the world that has Vikings. Joao Pedro, like a parrot. Brazilian animal. Romero, a reindeer. That one I don't get. But we'll see who wins. Tim V says Duck Race, Wood, Gakpo, Alderete, Van Dijk to bench. Okay, yeah, we'll do it. We will do it. Okay, so Joao Pedro starts. So we'll race again. The great race of who to bench. Joao Pedro is a starter. Kareem says not convinced Richards would keep a clean sheet against Everton. Are you a Grealish or Njai owner? Because if you are, that might be the reason you're not convinced. The chat is not moving when the ducks are swimming. What does that mean? I guess because people are so locked in. All right. Richards to start. Okay. Now we're talking business. Now we're talking business. So that means we will find out who to bench, Reinders or Romero. It can only be one. We're locked in. Ethan says start Porro or Gakpo or take a -4 Gakpo to Saka. I think at that point you should probably just start Porro. Oh, yeah. Gakpo to Saka is quite nice, even for a -4. So maybe I would do that, to be fair. Matt says I missed the super chat. I'm sorry, I'm so locked in with the duck races. Go on, Romero. Come on. Come on, Romero. Yes, that's confirmed. That's confirmed. Reinders, I'm benching Reinders. That's confirmed. It's done. I'm happy. Now that Romero's been included in the decision making, we are clear. We're clear as day. I'm happy. I'm happy. Matt says bench Pedro or Njai, Pedro or Richards, 2 teams. I did answer that question. I said bench, basically start Pedro It's Joao Pedro, right? Basically, start him in both of the questions. I did answer that one. Oh man. Ian says confirmed. I'm now starting Reinders. Mate, you know what? The duck race. The duck race has made my decision for me. I blame nothing for the ducks. And you guys are going to have to deal with it. The ducks reign supreme. The ducks make my decisions. The ducks have made my decision this week. I'm going to be benching Reinders. And you guys are going to have to deal with it. That's not to say you should do the same thing, by the way. You can say the ducks were fixed. But no. Oh, you know what? Reinders should have been the reindeer, right? He should have been the reindeer. Right. Tim wanted the duck race. Tim, you can have like a one small duck race because there's only 4 minutes till deadline. And we'll do it in reverse. So whoever wins, you bench. So you've got Wood. We're going to make this a thing. Super chats for duck races. Wood, Gakpo, Alderete, Virgil. And you need to bench one. Okay. Here we go. You can have a 20-second duck race. And whoever wins, you bench. Well, at least give them some fancy costumes. There we go. Right. There you go, Tim. To decide who to bench. Is there a Penno shootout version of the ducks? I could do some research of some other things. We've got 3 minutes till deadline, by the way, guys. So make sure you think about locking in right now. But, Tim, it looks like you are going to be benching Virgil. Wow. How incredible. What a thrilling end to the stream as we confirm Reinders to the bench. It was a weighted duck. You can make any excuses you want in the world. The ducks have spoken for me. The ducks have spoken to Tim. The ducks have spoken. They've quacked. And they've quacked. And concluded that Reinders is the player I'm going to bench. What can I say? Is it confirmation bias? I don't know. Did I want the Reinders duck to lose? Maybe. But I can't argue with the results. And I won't argue with the results. Because it's just confirmed what I wanted to do anyway. Right, there we go. FPL Duck coming soon. Mate, FPL Duck races, I think, honestly, this feature could run. We could do this every week at this point. We could do duck races every week to make decisions. Could be fun. This is good quack, as we Irish say. It certainly is. It is a good quack. Right, how long we got till deadline, guys? I'm thinking seconds, right? 1 minute and 30 seconds, just under. It is getting very, 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 very tight here. Rebrand to FPL Duck. I don't know about that one. I don't know if it's worth a rebrand. Carmichael says, okay, Dan, Reinders is playing against one of the worst defenses. He is, but he doesn't take many shots in dangerous positions. He doesn't create a huge amount. I don't know. They are one of the worst defenses. It's away from home. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Reinders is absolutely fine to play. I don't blame people for playing Reinders at all. But my gut says no. Triple down, put him third on bench? No. I'm not saying Reinders is a bad pick. I don't dislike Reinders. I picked him, you know, he's in my squad, he's in my wildcard team, you know, but just for this week, I just think I prefer some of the other guys. But guys, we are so close to the deadline now. Jasmine says 4 head kisses for everyone. Good luck. That's very cute, Jasmine. Thank you. Should I triple captain Haaland? I think you're going to be too late, mate. There is 10 seconds till deadline. Forget 100 experts. Time to start 100 duck race. Go Reinders. Burmo. No info on Gabriel. Loads of info on Gabriel. He's going to be fine. And we are locked. Did I save my team? I did. Thank the Lord Christ in heaven for that. There we go. Ryder's confirmed on my bench. I'm going to live to regret this moment for the rest of my life. I really am. They will be playing this clip in days to come as Ryder's hauls. But what are you going to do? The duck race told me to bench Reinders. I can't. It was out of my hands. So congratulations, Reinders owners. Congratulations, Reinders owners. You've absolutely killed me this week. But you know, I'm just glad that you guys are happy right now. That's all I can say. Right, guys. I'm going to wrap up this stream because we've been streaming for hours and hours and hours. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Which always happens when I stream for too long. By a certain point, I always start to lose my mind a little bit. Am I in a new room? It depends on when was the last time you watched a stream / video. I've been in this room for, well, I mean, it's the same room. I've just moved everything around. But we've been here since like April, like in this setup since like April. So probably not even 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Come on, that's a long time to be streaming FPL. There's only so many times a man can say, yeah, Gabriel is probably going to play. And there's only so many times a man can change around 3 players in their FPL team again and again and again and again, hoping one of them feels better than the next, but it doesn't. Where's the room with Sim? Oh, that's not at my house. That is that's in London, where I travel up to. But there we go. Right, guys. Yes, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for joining me for this very, very, very long deadline stream today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Wishing you all very, very good luck this game week. I'm sure you guys are going to smash it. Enjoy the Premier League and do not take it for granted because we've got another international break immediately after this this round of fixtures, which is so annoying. I'm sick of international breaks. However, I guess I'll enjoy the break a little bit from a little bit of content. Weekend League, Foot Champs. So I'm going to be doing some FC 26 Champs games tonight. I won't be streaming it or anything, but I'm going to try and hopefully do well in FC 26 Champs tonight and tomorrow. And enjoy the football. So, yeah, guys, take care. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you all. All of the support, the likes, the subscribes, the super chats. Amazing as always today. Really does go a very, very long way indeed. And I guess I'll catch you, like, I don't know. I might do a wildcard draft videos in the next couple of days. Probably. Right, cool, guys. Cheers. Take care. Enjoy footy. Catch you on Twitter. Bye-bye.